Hello, my name is Israel Castillo, and I'm here to give you a little bit of information and education on the exposure hazards of formaldehyde. A little bit of background info and facts on formaldehyde is the chemical formula is CH2O. It is commonly used as a preservative in laboratories, mortuaries, and you may have even seen it in your high school biology lab class where it was used to store the specimens that you may have dissected later in that year. It is found in many common household objects. Some things include plywood, paneling, and foam insulation. It is also found in a lot of products that are sold in stores like glues, paints, plastic products, and even makeup. It is a colorless, often clear aqueous solution. It has a very strong and very distinguishable smell to it. It is considered a carcinogen by the ACGIH, or the American Conference of Governmental Industrial Hygienists. A few bit of health effects that are caused by formaldehyde are it can cause an immune system response. Some symptoms can occur from exposure or are irritation of the eyes, the nose, and the throat. The frequency can often have a lot to do with the symptoms that you acquire. For example, frequent exposure can lead to allergic reactions of the skin, and low levels at long-term exposure can lead to asthma or respiratory problems, and or dermatitis and itching of the skin. Probably the most important part of this presentation is the exposure limits that you should have an understanding and know what they mean, such as threshold limit values, or TLV for short. For formaldehyde, stated by the ACGIH, are 0.3 parts per million, or can be referred to or understand it as 0.37 milligrams per meters cubed, meaning that is the concentration that they have in a given amount of space in the air or gas form. The recommended exposure limit, or the REL, established by the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, or the NAIOSH, is recorded as 0.016 parts per million at a time-weighted average of 15 minutes, meaning the employees only should be exposed to that concentration at 15-minute intervals. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration has permissible exposure limits, or PEL. So those specifications are 0.75 parts per million for an 8-hour time-weighted average, often a regular 8-hour work shift. They also have 2 parts per million for a 15-minute short-term exposure limit, and action level, meaning the moment at which medical surveillance is required, which is at 0.5 in an 8-hour time-weighted average. A few preventative and prevention measures that could be taken are maybe reassigning already suffering employees who are already suffering from exposure effects, and provide proper work engineering, such as using equipment that can contain and control the substances, and also using proper protective equipment that should already be provided and you should be educated on how to use. Other containers which hold more than 0.1% of formaldehyde should be clearly labeled. Proper knowledge and training of where showers and eye wash stations are located should be already taught to you, and you should have a clear understanding on how the proper usage of them is. and they should already be provided the medical surveillance needed in case any of these situations ever cause an effect on you or any of your coworkers. Well, thank you. That is all that I have for you, and I hope you got a very good understanding on the effects, the exposure limits, and ways to prevent these things from happening in your workspace. I appreciate your time, and thank you very much.